First of all, a very good evening to the panel. My name is Akash, and currently I'm a third year undergrad student from IITB, and I'm pursuing my majors in material science. As a intern at MRC, I'm working on the project, the climate change in the Indian Oceans and how it has impacted the economic activities over the years and its forecasts. So first, I would like to start with our current scenario and what are the potential threats of the climate change. I would like to highlight the current scenario. Okay, so based on the suggestion of some famous reports like IPCC and the World Economic Forum, it is very much imperative for us to restrict the temperature change of the globe by one below the 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of century. In fact, the anthropogenic emission of the CO2, which is happening due to the industrializations and many other things, should decline by 43% and it should peak by 2025, right? And in the scenario, if we fail to achieve this target, then it may lead to the trigger of the climate tipping point, which is referred to the threshold change in the climate, after which the change is irreversible. So yeah, so major threats of this climate tipping point could include that is the melting of the ice sheets from Greenland and Antarctica sheets, which may lead to the high sea levels and ultimately cause floods and other change in the weather pattern. And if we fail to reduce the sea surface temperature by 2 degree by the end of the century, so there would be a sea level rise, of course, of 0.5 meter. So like we are hearing like there are many kind of organizations like COP and various agreement like Paris Agreement and related stuffs are getting passed, but no major impact has been seen on the ground level up till now. So this is a problem of concern. And if we talk about the underwater domain, so major chunk of the blue economy for any country is contributed from the underwater resources itself. And a slight change in the underwater temperature can lead to the various kind of harm to the underwater ecosystem. For example, a slight change in the temperature may lead to the coral bleach, and it may have further cascading unfavorable consequences, from depletions of high quality fisheries productions to the degradation in the seaweed cultivations. And yeah, right, the underwater domain is getting affected in form of the ocean acidifications or the rise in the temperature and the dissolved O2 concentration being decreased. So there's a and in fact, it has been predicted, right? If the scenario remains the same, there would be a decline in the fishing production by the 21%, and which will lead to the loss of around 300 million pounds by 2050. So I have like included a plot of the time series for the ocean heat content. So what is happening? Climate change had led to an increase in the net ocean heat content over the years, and it is like visible from the graph. There's a positive net heat content over the years, which is quite concerning. And if you see to the world map, and we can see we can have a look that the in fact the tropical waters and all, compared to other waters, let's say temperate and arctic, have more ocean heat content. And ocean heat content will lead to the decrease in the oxygen concentrations as well as the phytoplankton, which are essential nutrition for the fishes and other creature to grow. And yeah, so, like also the rising ocean heat content has like degraded the quality of the habitable zone for them and forcing them to migrate to some other places, and hence the fishing production for any country is affected due to this. So first of all, I would also like to highlight why it is in fact important for the Indian Ocean to deal this climate change. As we know, like as in the previous slide, I mentioned about the more ocean heat content in the tropical, and in fact, if we go from the facts or the stats, the net ocean heat content is more for the IOR region itself, and because the increasing demand for the IOR region, both from the economic and the strategic point of view, so the world power is shifting toward it. And in fact, the IOR itself serves around the one third population of uh, uh, one third world population, being only 20% of the Earth's surface. So, but there is still inadequacy of the technology for monitoring and policy framework, and the existing policies are very much influenced by the Western power. So we have to build a framework to deal with it. In fact, the UDA framework, which is proven to be very much efficient for addressing this problem. So I would take some time to explain what the UDA framework is. So UDA framework, as we can see, there are four different sections. The first one is the capacity building and collaboration with the community, right? Which includes involving the right stakeholders and taking actions for the upskilling. Next is the digital transformation, involve the planting sensors to collect the data parameter for the ocean parameters, and this will help to plan to offset any potential threat. And next is the marine spatial planning, which is a precise mapping of the resources underwater. This approach will help proceed in the proper planning and take care of any important resource, right? And the last one is the surveillance and the which surveillance and monitoring, which refers to the continuous monitoring required for the ocean. So with that, I would like to conclude my presentations and like to wish everyone a world happy World Ocean Day. Thank you.